Hey guys, this is Bonfrey from L World, and you are watching FOE Advance. Also playing in Ephesus. If you've listened to some of my other recent shows, you know that about October of last year, I set up a new city in Ephesus, and so I've been focusing quite a lot on that. But I still sort of have my, some legacy stuff on other servers. So today I just wanted to start off the video by saying, well, one, thanks for tuning in and for supporting my channel, and also wanted to talk a little bit about the airship that seems to be sort of boomeranging because of this current event. So the summer event is offering an airship selection kit right now, for at least for me, and I realized that it was a good option to strive to get a few more selection kits because I had enough. I had like 7 airship selection kits, and I realized I needed, you need 11 to get to the top, and then I also had stashed away some other upgrades, right? So the idea to get it up to the Astral Platinum, and the reason being that this becomes very valuable is because of the benefit of QI. So it gives you 30%, at least in Sash. It gives me 30%, of the blue and the red stats, plus a lot of population, which is really handy because, as you guys probably know, a lot of the newer event buildings are pretty aggressive with taking population down in a negative way. Not to mention the other benefits from this are pretty hardy. Forge points, goods, a lot of guild goods, like far more than a lot of people's obs would be putting out, honestly, just on this one special building. So I was just starting to upgrade this thing to see if I needed to get any more selection kits. I think I have everything I need in order to get this to the Astral Airship. But I do like the fact that you can boomerang sometimes in this game and hold on to some things, and then they come back and they're like, oh, maybe I just can get enough of what I need, in order to build up. So this is where it's a little tricky because I've got these various options. I've got a golden kit, so I can't golden upgrade it yet because I'm still at level 10. I think I just got to 10. Yeah. So I'm going to use I'm usually pretty careful about um, using the silver and gold selection kits. Like, I try to avoid using them, but I'm not really spending diamonds on this on this world, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to sort of freemium it as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and use the silver selection kit so that I can get a final upgrade to 11 on the standard. And this is what the airship used to be. I mean, this has been around crap for like, probably 7 or 8 years. I don't know. It's been a long time that it's been around. So, yeah, that was something I had ripped out a long time ago and stored. And sadly, in some of my worlds, I sold them in the AD, but in this case, I didn't. So anyway, the I'm going to go ahead now and use the silver selection kits and see if I can get from, yep, so 11 to Zephyr. That would be the silver, and then I'm going to use the gold. No, I'm not. Just kidding. That's a platinum. Okay, got it. Now I need to go to the gold. Okay, so I've got a dedicated golden upgrade kit. I'm going to use that instead of the selection kit, obviously, because I always try to exhaust the upgrade kits first since they are more unitask, if you will. And then let's try to get to the astral. Yep, there we go. So that in this case is giving me a second uh, airship for this city, and that's great. I mean, that's going to really help my QI stats. Plus, it gives me a common military space for the historical allies, which is handy if you pay any attention to that. These guys can actually be a big benefit to your game. There's a lot of these newer mechanics that have shown up, and they're actually really really cool in terms of being able to give you some buffs in the game and help out with battling and things like that. So anyway, okay, so that's the first part of the videos. I just wanted to show why I think the Astral Airship is actually a very, very valuable special building, and it's sort of cool that it just showed up as one of the options in this event, in this summer events. So the other building, sort of special building, I wanted to highlight, and this is especially, in my opinion, for players that are maybe you've started recently in another world, like in the guild I recently started over in Ephesus. We've had a few experienced players join that guild because I'm helping out, those that join quite a bit, extra FP, getting their arcs up, things like that. And they've played on other worlds and are like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to like check out rebuilding, or maybe I want to do a higher age unit sort of strategy. So what they're finding is what I found back in October, which is that when you start over in the dirt, it's amazing how just coins and metals can hold you back so much. Just like even little things like that become big things. And so one of the really cool buildings that I think is helping one of my new guild members is the Dragon's Breath. This obviously came out in a previous event. I don't remember which one, but it's a pretty neat building. And what I like about it is that this special building sort of showed up just a little bit before or right when they were starting sort of the ascended stuff. So I think there's some crossover with some of these types of buildings, this class of with these gongs and the Zang things. But they're what I like about these is that if you get the Crimson Dragon Breath, it throws off the selection kits and the upgrade kits for so it's for the Golden Dragon Gun and the Zang's Golden Bell. So the benefit there being that this becomes like a perpetual motion machine for creating these one by one uh, buildings that are actually really good. I mean, for a one by one, especially if you are not a super advanced player with a really mature city, these things are huge because you're going to get goods from it. You're getting some forge points. You can also have a chance at getting military units, and there's some guild goods and there's some battle buffs. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat that. In terms of that, the thing I don't like, I think, is these guys need roads. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but almost certain they do. No, that's a Sacred Tree of Silence. Okay, Golden Dragon. Oh no, they don't actually. Okay, so I think the level 2 of these don't need roads, which is another huge plus. So if you are able to get enough upgrade kits or collect it as this event, whichever this one comes around next time, and you can keep collecting these, because I know this week one of my guild members was able to get some more selection kits and get himself a Crimson Breath ship. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to highlight that because this is one of the more recent special buildings that kind of keeps on. It's like the gift that keeps on giving kind of thing. Sort of like in the past with the autumn vineyards, the majestic autumn vineyards, which I've talked a lot about in my past videos, and them throwing off ultimately cider gardens and grannies, trees, and things like that. So, um, it gets to the point where these buildings are so big that, and then if you get so many of these cider gardens, I mean, it almost gets out of control. So you got to make some decisions in your city for in terms of efficiency. But this particular city, I'm not super worried about it. This is more of a sandbox for me that I can come and go from. So um, anyway, okay, so that's the Crimson Draft. So there's another building that I wanted to talk about that, again, in case you weren't around when this was going on or you missed this or whatever. There's an Urban Metro Plaza that you can get. This came out in the most upgraded version of it came out, I think, in 2024. So this is still sort of kicking around. I think this is still going to be viable. And if you have some Plaza, selection kits, you may want to check into it because what this thing does, and one of the things it does is it throws out these fragments of the Aerial Eden selection kits. So these things are like a really sleeper, sort of like very cool stat special building. So as you can see, I've got a bunch in storage in this case, but I'm just, again, this is just a sort of a sandbox. So you just look at the stats. So what's cool. So upside and downside of this building right off the bat, lots of battle stats. I mean, for both GE and Battlegrounds, as well as some goods and some forge points, as well as military units. It does cost 4,000 population, at least in my case. And this particular one is inventoried at Space Age Titan. I'm in Sash with this, here, but some of those stats will go up. That's unfortunately, like, sometimes when you level these up and you one up these or you reno these, the battle stats, something to watch out for. The battle stats don't always go up that much, if at all. But your population costs can go up dramatically. So that's something you're going to want to watch for before you just like upgrade everything to your current era. That's a whole other discussion. But what you get is these Aerial Eden selection kits from the Metro Plaza or Metro Plaza, and there's additional. I think there's a platinum one or something like that. But at the end of the day, any version of the Urban Metro Plaza will give you these selection kits. So the other one that's the option, aside from the airship, I mean, the airship, in my opinion, by far is the more beneficial, better ROI unit. You just have to watch your population. But if you are building blue stats or you need blue stats, the Flower Arboretum is great. It needs a road. It doesn't do any, it doesn't cover as much as obviously the other one, but it is there for those that might find this valuable. So I tend to focus on the airships myself, and again, just really with this video, I wanted to draw attention to some of the buildings that are out there that sort of keep popping up in these events that are sort of sleepers, and to be able to share with you guys which ones I like. So, that's really kind of what I'm doing right now. And then the final building I wanted to chat about, at least for this video, before I wrap it up, is the Enchanted Elixirs Emporium. So this building showed up previously in the what I just call the Halloween event. It's the October event, and it is a really cool building because it gives you finished special productions. It is a chance building, so that's why it's nice to have a lot of these. In my main account on Ephesus, I have probably 15 of these, and I'm just swimming in FSPs, finished special productions, because even though they only hit at about 20%, that's still pretty good. I'm at least with, I don't know, 10 or 15 of these, you can get multiples per day. This was a byproduct of me, spending diamonds on that event last year. So I really think this is a building to watch out for. Again, as it comes up, as hopefully it comes up back around. I haven't spent much time on beta lately, so I don't even know. It's probably not even a thing yet. Um, but we're not really talking about October as of yet. But this is one to watch for because it gives you plus population, which is great. You get some blue stats, which is awesome, but you're getting QI buffs and you're getting FSPs on chance plus some FPs. It's a fantastic building. I think it's quite underrated and maybe overlooked. So that might be something that, when you look at whatever is happening this year for the Halloween timeframe, that's one to look for. I'm guessing the Eerie Nightmare Coaster is going to have either some additional buff or they'll have an offshoot of this or something adjacent to it. But that's been a pretty cool building too. It also adds population, which is so bizarre to me because you would think that in the past, at least some of the sort of like Halloween type buildings have sort of detracted certain things, especially happiness, which in this is the case. You can see it's minus 34,000 happiness. Until Inno makes that a major concern, I'm not worried about it. They still haven't really made that mechanic that important, at least for players that are not just totally in the mud. But it does give population, which again is super valuable with all these anti-population buildings sort of showing up, with their counterbalances. As a little comment here at the end, the Octa Orbs, I'm starting to rip out Octa Orbs, even the ones I put in my main, because they just steal so much population. I mean, you can put them down if you can afford it, because you are getting some really good FP ROI, FP and goods. I mean, amazing for such a small footprint building. If you have these, and obviously they can ascend as well, but then you have to watch out for the cost side of ascending it because it takes away even more population when you ascend it. So I've sort of gotten frustrated with these in my main Ephesus city, and I just stored a bunch of them um, because I was able to replace them with the like current event buildings and some other stuff I had in storage to far outstrip the value that they were representing in the space they had. So anyway, so that's that. But I would like to hear what buildings you guys think are overlooked or sleeper buildings, especially special, sleeper special buildings from events, ones you've seen, sort of come and go, or ones that you think are worth keeping in your city, or maybe putting in your inventory and then pulling them back out later. That's always an interesting concept to me about this game. You play it for so many years, and assuming you don't sell much of your valuable type things, you can just come back to that stuff if it becomes sort of cool again. And that of course happened with the airship. So yeah, I was SOL with my main account on that because I sold like 6 or 7 of those things many moons ago, and I still probably haven't even spent all the money, the whatever the currency I've gotten from those uh, gemstones and such. So anyway, well, that's what I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. This is FOE Advanced. This is Bond Free. I do have a guild going, like a helper guild. We're doing QI, GBG, GE, all of it over in Ephesus, and we are doing like even some players that have some diamond farms, like they're trying to get their arcs up there. So one of those guys joined. So there's different reasons you may want to check it out over there. If you're just curious and you want to start over again in a different world, hit me up on Ephesus, and we'll go from there. All right. Well, thanks again. This is FOE Advanced, Bonfrey. Take care. See you next time.